So it's time for Weekend Wellbeing on the Weekend Wind Down show today. And I'm very pleased to welcome Karen Ferguson once again. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hi Nathan, I'm good. Happy Friday to you.
Yeah, happy Friday. It's great to see you. And I hope you're doing well today.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know, sometimes it's just so exciting to know you've got a weekend ahead of you full of opportunities and re opportunities to relax as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, looking forward to
Yeah, definitely. I do look forward to the weekend. I found sometimes in life, when it's especially quiet, the weekend sort of loses its flavor, its excitement. But when you're especially busy, then all of a sudden it becomes much more valuable.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, I know for some people they don't do a Monday to Friday, so it's different. But it is about that opportunity to kind of just stop the rhythm and yeah, do a little bit more looking after yourself, isn't it? Just what this is all about. So.
Absolutely. Weekend well-being, how we can look after our mental well-being. We've started a series on how art can help us in that regard. And of course, there's so many different types. But what do you want to look at next?
Yeah, so it might sound like it doesn't quite fit, but I wanted us just to have a focus this week on the value of reading and how that can really help us as well.
Hmm.
Now, of course, there's such a huge genre, isn't there? So from the very definite escapism of novels and imagination to the very factual. But some of this is also about what is good for you and what helps you. I have quite an eclectic range, I suppose. I like lots of different things. And so sometimes that sort of factual information is really good, or sometimes it's that I just want to go into a different world and escape and connect with these fictional characters and see what happens in this story. But I'm also a really big fan of reading stories about people or autobiographies and that type of thing. And so recently, I've just had this great opportunity to be away and have a few days off, and I felt a real need to escape. And so I picked up a couple of new novels from the local supermarkets, and they do the nice two for five or whatever deals they were doing. Um, and I guess I've realised that there's a certain theme I like. It tends to be more around the crime sort of theme. I'm not sure what that says about me, but it's pure escapism. That's what it definitely says. So I picked up a couple of those, and I devoured them in the course of the weekend, and I just found my whole body relaxing. Just that sense of, the biggest decisions I had to make over that weekend of being away was what are we going to eat? And
Yeah.
when sometimes that's just so healthy for you, isn't it? Where you don't have any other burdens, just
Mm.
this sense of, oh, what are we going to eat today? Um, and so being able to have the freedom to just sit down and relax and pick up a book and then put it down for a bit and then pick it up again in the same day. I found that so helpful, just really, really good for my mental health and well-being, my sense of resting, recharging, being ready to go again for what else lie ahead. So there is that, but then at the same time, a friend of mine and a friend of Pure actually, Joe from Kick, who I know is obviously very connected with
Yeah.
the video. Recently, last year, released his book about the Kick story, and he's such a great guy. He's such a wonderful example of leadership and such an encourager. He's a brilliant person to know and to be connected with. And so I wanted to read his story, even though I've heard a lot of it and seen bits of it. It's was wonderful just to be able to kind of engage in that and be able to read. And so there's something about the power of reading for our well-being. So in the scenario like that, it's the inspiration that comes from that. There was a real opportunity to just be excited by someone else's journey, and that evokes all sorts of things like hope and things that resonate. You know, people will share honestly about their struggles or what they've tried, their challenges, their successes. There's something that really connects you again. It's that theme, isn't it? Always comes back to that sense of connection that is so good for our well-being. Um, and then the other style, that escapism, that real giving of me to my time and indulging in looking out for myself. And that's what reading can do. But you know, it's also an amazing opportunity to learn, isn't it? I love learning. So I love what reading does in terms of being able to discover more and be excited about this vast array of information that is out there. So it can bring inspiration, it can bring knowledge, it can bring escapism. And I know for some people, the thought of reading is just horrendous. I've got children who are dyslexic, and so reading can be this real battle at times. But it's one of those things where audiobooks are just fantastic, aren't they? And it's a different experience as well. So audiobooks can be great if you do a lot of traveling, or a lot of people will do that if they're out exercising, or they have to commute on a train, or whatever it might be. Or, you know, if reading is not your thing, then there's other options now, and that's fantastic. So, but it is about that sense of escapism and knowledge and inspiration that can come through the power of reading. And so one of the other things that's really interesting, and again, this speaks more down the part of faith, really, is that I have found that God in my life has often used the times of reading to really cement things that He's talking to me about. And so it might be that it's an affirmation, or it's confirmation, or it's an inspiration. Lots of shuns going on there. But basically, I have found that reading has helped to really solidify other things that are going on. And so it can be really affirming, not only for our well-being, but also for our faith as well. So my challenge this weekend is for you to think about, what book could do you good? Is that an audio book? Is it a traditional book? Is it a paperback or hardback? Is it just a paper of some description? What reading could do you good? Maybe it's a magazine, pure magazine, hey? What reading could do you good? And what could you start reading that will be good for your well-being, that will be helpful? It might inspire you, it might challenge you, it might help you to relax. But what could you do that is related to reading that is going to be good for your well-being?
That's a great thought. I love reading. I'll be honest with you. I mean, as you say, an eclectic mix of reading is quite good actually, because you know you get a good variety. And I mean, there are some books I like reading over and over again. You know, some of them you like them
Yeah.
so much you go around
Yeah.
once a year maybe, or maybe every few months even. But reading is so good. I used to read a lot more when I was younger. With sort of work and such, it's become less and less frequent. So it's taken me ages to get through one book. But like you say, it's so good for you.
Yeah, it is. And it's the same for me. I do quite a lot of reading in my work life. And so sometimes that hasn't been as appealing when you've got time off. But this recent weekend where it was just my husband and I away, and you know, he obviously does a lot of reading in his role, but I'm probably quite a quick reader, and he's notoriously quite a slow reader when it comes to anything that isn't work related. But he started a book and finished it in the weekend as well. So it was just one of those perfect scenarios where the escapism of reading worked for us at that time. This should never be a pressure. It should never be a thing of like, oh, I've got to now make myself do this. It's really about engaging in what works for you at what time, in what way. But that is the challenge. What does that look like for you this weekend?
Absolutely. And yeah, we'd love to hear perhaps what people are reading. What are you reading?
Yeah,
Have you got?
recommendations.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what you're reading, and whether it's something that inspires you, maybe it's something just encourages you. As you say, you're talking about Joe Kick's story of Kick, and there's quite a few like that. Andy B wrote one about Pure 247 Radio, how that came about, and I know John Cox from Adventure Plus has done one all about the story of Adventure Plus. So there's loads out there. Whatever your preference, let us know. And thank you so much, Karen. Do try and carry out this challenge. What books might encourage you or help you in escaping or just relaxing and looking after your mental well-being? So thank you so much, Karen. It's been a pleasure as always.
Fabulous. Thanks, Nathan. See you later.
The June issue of Pure Media, the magazine, comes out on Friday the 7th of June, with a whole host of international writers speaking on life, faith, sports, technology, joy and more, from our family to yours. In the June edition, we shine the spotlight on Sherry Seligson, a marine biologist from Florida, and Chris Kerr, who helps us focus and celebrate on dads. Sign up today and enjoy all of this and more at www.puremediathemagazine.com.